By now you ought to be proficient with the basics of Git. Keep on climbing on your learning curve, and by the end of this series you should have a worldwide view of using Git not only for writing and maintaining code, but for any project that you're currently working on, either school, work, or personal projects. In this video and the next, I'm going to show you how to view differences between Git states, and namely how to compare these differences, if any, between the working directory, the staging area, and the repository. Right, so now you might ask, how is knowing this useful? Well, sometimes you might find yourself in a position where you would create or modify a file but forget to stage it, or stage it but forget to commit it. It happened to me a few times, and I realized my mistake later, usually the next day. But because I forgot the changes I made, I needed some extra help from Git to be remembered of these. So that's where all of this comes into place. In this video, I'll show you how to view differences between the working directory and the staging area. So let's go ahead and try this. Let's run a pwd command, and as you can see, we're inside our git root directory. And let's run an ls, and suppose we want to modify a new file. I'll do that via sublime text, new file, and let me just write, this is a new line, right? Save this, close sublime text, and let's run git status. And as you can see, the file lies now in the working directory, but is not yet staged, because we can see here the change is not staged for commit heading, under which we have our newly modified file, called newFile in this case. Right, so to see the difference between the staging area and the working directory, you could simply type git diff, and this diff from difference, and this command will give you a detailed difference for all the files in the working directory that have been changed but not yet staged, if any. Let's try and see what it displays. Let's press enter, and as you can see here on the standard output, we have a bunch of lines, and let's highlight the first line. So the first line of the output shows that the diff command compares two items with each other. In this case, item A and item B here. In theory, A and B can be any file, but in this case, they are two different versions of the same file, as it's displayed here after the slash. The next line shows two strings that represent object IDs of our two files. You see this because Git not only saves snapshots of the project, but also saves each file item as an object. Right, so an ID like this is used by Git to identify a file from a specific snapshot. Okay, and the last number here on the right is an internal file mode identifier, and the 644 is just a non-executable file, or how it's also called a regular file. Right, so the next two lines in the standard output are as following. They are basically symbols that are assigned to both versions of the files. In this case, version A is assigned minus and version B is assigned a plus. And this happens because Git thinks about version A as a null version, of the file, and about version B as a new version of that file, right? And let's go to the next line. This light bluish line is what Git calls a chunk header. The first part of it informs you which lines have been changed, and as you can see, it's enclosed inside the @ signs or symbols. And as you can see here, from version A, beginning from line 0, no line has been subtracted, and from version B, seen here, beginning from line 0, only one line has been added to the file. Right, and the next line just shows this addition that's being displayed up here. Right, and the last message is just the fact that I haven't inserted the new line at the end of my newFile.txt inside Sublime Text. Right, so that's it for this lesson. In the next one, I'll emphasize how to compare the staging area to the repository. Please do remember the git diff command to see the differences between your local directory and the staging area. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video.